everybody, this is Amy from Concord and Ninth, and today I'm here to walk through all of the products from our October 9th release. And we have lots of great fun products to show you, so we're just going to go ahead and get started and walk you through all these products. Be sure to check out the product pages though for really helpful PDFs as well as lots of inspiration and samples. I'm only going to be showing you a few of the many things you can do with these products. So let's get started. The Trim the Tree stamp set and Trim the Tree dies is a perfect combination for making your holiday cards, but it works beyond that even for tags as well. So what you have in this set is you've got some large greetings that are actually designed to fit within the tree die, and then you've got some different things that you can decorate your tree with, so you can get a lot of different looks. And we've actually made the stamp set so you can do things even without the die, so there's lots of options available to you. And then in the die you've got some different pieces. These little pieces right here are meant to give kind of a stitched score look, and you can string them up your tree and then add some ornaments, or just to have that be kind of a stitch detail if you want. And then the fa la 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 can also be used to decorate your tree, and of course the star for the top. So I just want to show you a couple of fun things that were made using these products. So I'll start with some cards. This is a really fun card made with these products. We just die cut out 3 different trees, and each one's decorated just a little bit differently. So here we've used that stitched pieces that I showed you in the die and layered those up, as well as repeated the polka dot stamp. And then here this one's decorated with bows. This has the ornaments that are decorating it. So a lot of fun things. And you'll also notice on the background of this card we've used those the long line stamp, and just repeated it all the way up for a really nice background. So you can actually stamp that on your tree, which I'm going to show you in this next sample. We use that same stamp and we went up the tree and actually embossed it, so you can get that different look, and you can use that stamp in a lot of different ways. Here, instead of using the different stamps to decorate the tree, we used the stripe, but then we also did some die cuts to add the fa la 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 on there and topped it off with a star. Again, the background was stamped with the same polka dot that we stamped this tree with. So these stamps are really versatile, and you can use them in a lot of different ways, which I think always makes a product really good, because you want to be able to get the most uses possible out of it. Now I want to show you one more sample. This one's really nice because you get the effect of a tree, but you don't actually need the tree die. So we've used the sentiment that kind of has the shape of a tree. We've added our little trunk, which comes in the stamp set, and topped it off with a star that's also in the stamp set. So even if you're making lots and lots of cards so you don't want to worry about die cutting, you can still make a tree out of the stamp set. And then used our plaid background in the background. And this is a really versatile stamp that enhances almost anything else you have. So be sure to check out that product as well. So that those are some cards that you can make with the Trim the Tree stamp set and die. Another thing that's really fun is being able to make shaped cards or little tags. So this tree is fun because it's actually a fold over tag. So I'll show you how that works. So what we've done here is we folded our cardstock in half, and then we've laid the die on the cardstock, but we put the point just a little bit above the fold so that it didn't cut it off. You can see that right there. And then when we topped it with a star, you don't even notice that it doesn't have a point on the tree. So this is a great die because you can make something kind of unexpected with tags or shaped cards. Another thing you can do that's kind of unexpected with this die is to make 3-dimensional trees. So here is one that we've made out of paper. We've stamped it with that plaid background stamp set and cut out several pieces and put them together, put them on a skewer, and you have a dimensional tree. You could then stick this in like a little round wooden disc or something, or down into something, and it would create a great centerpiece or decoration for your mantle. Really fun. You can also do the same thing, but do it with felt. We've got some of this really great thick wool felt that we've cut, and we did the same thing in how we put it together, and then we actually put a stick from a tree just right up the center. Again, you can use these for decoration centerpieces throughout the holiday season. So many options with the Trim the Tree stamp set. I hope you are excited about this product as I am. So here we have our ornamental stamp set and ornamental dies. This is a great set because you get a lot of versatility and different looks. I love the large size of the ornament and the large size of the greeting. I love when things can really fill a card front. I think it makes a huge statement, and it often makes it quick and easy to make multiples of something, which at Christmas is often the case. So I want to show you just how this works. So using the large ornament stamp from the set, I've stamped down on just a piece of paper here. And you can see there's some openings here. So you have a few different options of what you can do with your ornament and do with those openings. Now the first is you can use that Merry and Bright stamp that I pointed out, that large sentiment, and you can stamp it directly in the space that was created. It was designed to fit perfectly, and it just adds just a really fun accent that fits just perfect. So that's stamping it twice. If you want a different look, instead of using the Merry and Bright, you can use some of the filler pieces that are included in the stamp set. And you can actually just fill it so it's an all over floral and pine bough look. So this top piece right here, this one, let's see. This space right here is filled with one stamp, so it's really easy to just lay it in. Down here it does take a few stamps, and we've got a PDF that shows you how to lay them in, and if you're looking at something, it's really easy to reference and put them in. When I did it, I actually laid both of these stamps down in the open space and stamped those at the same time, and then I stamped these next. So you can do them one at a time, or you could do it like I did and stamp these two at the same time. But you just kind of work your way in, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can lay your stamps out and kind of see the spacing. So again, reference the PDF to know exactly how to fill this up with the imagery pieces, but you get those different looks. So start here, and then you choose what you want to fill your ornament with. So I just think that's really nice when you can get different looks so that all your cards don't look exactly the same. Now I want to show you some things about the die, because I think this is a really cool die because you, again, get a lot of different looks and it adds a lot of detail. So you're first going to cut out your large ornament with the die. From there, I'm going to pull the die back in. You actually have some options of what you can do. So you could cut out that stamped image I just showed you with this large ornament and pop that up on a card and continue to build that way. Or you can add in some of these detail pieces and mix and match them with your stamping for just something a little different. So in this piece, we've taken this large center detailed piece and laid it in. You can run this through the same time that you cut your cardstock, or you can do it in 2 steps, really up to you. Another option you have is that left some space up here and down here, so you could add a little stamping or something, but you can also pull in one of these dies or both of them. So I'm going to show you this. This is where I've taken this piece right here, and it's been ran through twice, and it leaves this open spot, so again you can add some stamping, but it kind of gives that cool old style glass ornament look on top and bottom, which I think is really pretty. And here I've shown you how the Merry and Bright from the stamp set fits perfectly inside. So this is just that with the stamping. So another fun option. Another option that you can do for a different look is actually to run all of the die pieces together. So here I've taken that center piece, and then I've used the opposite, so not this one, but the other detailed piece that comes in, and I put it top and bottom. So that gives you an all-over detailed piece, which I think is really pretty. So look at all those different options just from the die, and then you can add stamping in. So many possibilities, and we've really just got started. I also want to show you this cute little piece that comes in the die. This was cut from that ornament topper, and that can just layer right on. This die is big enough that you can actually kind of bend it with your fingers so that it bends a little bit, and you could stand it up to give it kind of that little bit of dimension. So that's a really great little addition piece just to add a little extra and really finish off the top of your ornament. Now I want to show you how you can make a shaped card using it. So on this one we use the large ornament piece, and we've laid it on a piece of cardstock that's been folded in half, but the top of the die goes just a little bit above the fold so that you're not actually cutting that top line. The fold creates your top line, and that gives you a shaped card or even a tag. So that's another fun way to use this that just extends the options a little bit from kind of your typical thing. So think outside the box with these. Think of all the different combinations you can do and how you can make them into different things other than just your traditional card, something like this shaped card or a tag. Now I'm going to show you some samples, some finished samples that were made using these products so it can really get you excited about them. Isn't this beautiful? This used the stamp kind of like the first way I showed you, where we stamped the first one down and then we added the Merry and Bright. It is open line art, so you can add a little bit of coloring in with your favorite coloring medium. And then we've topped it with the little ornament, stamped the Happy Holidays in the background, and just added a little twine so it looks like the ornament's hanging. So pretty straightforward, but just beautiful. Added those teeny little sequins in the middle for a little extra something special. But just really makes a statement with that large sized Merry and Bright and ornament on it. Next up, I want to show you this card because this card takes the pieces out and it doesn't even use the ornament. So if you've used the ornament and you want something to look a little different or the ornament's just not going to fit what you need, this is a really good option as well. The Merry and Bright doesn't have to go in the ornament. What a great large sentiment. And then those filler pieces that you can use to fill the ornament, you can just use them as accents. I love this card. I think it's clean. I think it would be easy to replicate and duplicate. It's almost a single card layer. It's just got the base. And so this, if you are making 100 cards to send out, bless your soul, first of all, but second, this would be a great option. It's just beautiful, clean, but relatively quick and easy. And lastly, I want to show you this. This is a adorable tag. I mentioned that it doesn't have to just be for card making, that you can do this tag. And this is actually a fold over open style close tag. So you can even write a little message. So it kind of doubles like a card, but you could hang it on your gift. Here we've used the ornament main die. We've added a layer that's on top of with that detailed piece and then topped it off with the scripty word die. So I think this is really fun, and again, just because it can kind of get you thinking of all the different options that you can do with these products. So I hope you have enjoyed this and have fun playing around with this set. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, it wouldn't be a release from Concord and Ninth without some sort of turnabout. We love our turnabouts here, and we know you do too. So we have a new turnabout. This Christmas cheer turnabout and coordinating ribbon banner die are just kind of a fun, whimsical way to celebrate the season. And it's got a lot of extra pieces in addition to the turnabout, making card making quick, simple, and just fun to get the variety. I'm just going to show you a few samples made with these products. Now before I do that, I want to show you something on the stamp set. Now this turnabout works just like our other turnabouts as far as alignment and how you use it with your stamp placement tool. But one thing that's fun in the extra pieces of this turnabout is we've included some of these solid pieces. Now in the turnabout itself, the images are open line art, so you could go in and you could color them with markers or colored pencils, however you want to color them, or you can use these solid stamps and you can stamp in all of these. So all of these images have a solid stamp. So like here's the one that goes in the present and it leaves that little ribbon open, so you could actually just leave it the color of your cardstock, or you could go in with another marker and add some color. The mitten is meant to fit in there. So again, just kind of a fun way to use a turnabout and have some different pieces. And then these words are meant to specifically go in the banners. And you can build your sentiment. So you can mix and match. You can say Merry Christmas, you could say winter wishes, you could say Christmas cheer, just whatever you want. You can add those in, but they're sized perfectly and designed to work right in that ribbon banner die. And I'm going to show you now some samples that just show how cute these products come together. So the first one I think is adorable, but it's a pretty straightforward way to use these products. Here we have the turnabout's been stamped 4 times in one color, and then they've gone back and added those filler pieces to get some color in there. I love that it still leaves a little bit of white. I just think it's nice and clean. And then here we've topped it off with the ribbon banner die. We've added the sentiment. We've done Merry Christmas, but what's kind of fun too, if you notice, the artist here has cut out 2 of the banner dies and just offset them a little bit, so it gives a nice look. So there's a lot of options. A pretty straightforward die, but a lot of things you can actually do with it. And it works so well on this background, but also a lot of other backgrounds because it's a pretty classic style looking banner. Next up, I want to show you a different way we use that banner die. So again, we've got the turnabout. Instead of using it as our whole card base, we just cut a strip and then use this plaid background as well. And then here we've used the banner die, but we've used a different stamp out of the turnabout stamp set. Instead of the straight stamps that fit in your ribbon banner die, we've got the one that's been circle punched and laid over top. So a lot of different options and a lot of different looks you can get. Really fun set, nice and whimsical. I think you'll have a lot of fun playing around with this. Our plaid background set is a staple that I think every crafter is going to need. Plaid is really popular right now, especially for the holiday season, but it works well beyond that. So this is a great investment. This set is pretty straightforward. We have a large card front sized plaid background, but we've also added in these lines. These lines are attached and make it easy to add in a different look of plaid. So you can go either buffalo plaid or you can add those lines in to get a little bit of a different look. And you can do it in so many colors, so it really can work for whatever you're doing. I want to show you just this beautiful array of colors. It just makes me happy and kind of gets your mind thinking about all the different possibilities and how many ways you can use this plaid background set. You'll see it used on a ton of our samples for all the products that were released in October because it is such a good backdrop. So here's kind of that straightforward plaid. Now I want to show you when you add the line. So same colors, but what a fun way to get just a little bit of a different look. So the gray, but with the red, it just takes it to a different place. So many different options you can do and play with colors, using the lines, not using the lines. Such a good, basic, fun set that I think every stamper is going to want in their arsenal of stamps. So this is definitely a must-have. I'm just going to show you a couple samples. Be sure to check out the product pages for more to show you just how beautiful this can be. This one I think is really stunning. This we have used on a smaller piece and then layered on a small kind of note card size, and we've gold embossed it. Isn't that beautiful? So this is used very straightforward but embossed. I think it's such a pretty backdrop for this card. Now I want to show you where we've done it with color. So this is really fun. This is using the Trim the Tree die from our offering as well, and just stamped in 3 different colors and then die cut, and then she's trimmed the trees off at different spots to make them different heights. So many different things. This card has all that look and different color, and it's all from the same stamp set. So again, I think this is a great basic for any crafter. Here we have our new Blooms Fill-In stamp set and Blooms Fill-In dies. This is one of my favorite stamp sets we've released this month. I've had a chance to play with it at home the other night. I made about 12 different cards using this because it was just so much fun. And while it's not holiday specific, it's more of an all occasion set. You'll find on our product page there's a few samples that show just how, by the colors you choose, this can be a great option for your holiday cards. But if you don't want to use it for your holiday cards, you're still going to want to get it because it's going to be perfect for everything else, even if you don't want it for holiday cards. It's good for baby, it's good for wedding, it's good for thank yous, it's really just good for everything. I love it, love it, love it. So I want to show you just a few tips. We do have a PDF to show you how all of these pieces fit in the fill-in. And the idea behind this stamp set is this large piece is just a little bit oversized from your card front size, and you're going to stamp that in a solid color, and then you're going to use all these different pieces to add some color to your flowers. And there's so many different ways you can use the pieces and where you can leave white space to get a lot of different looks and just pick your color combination. So it's really fun to play with, and you can really get the perfect color combination and look for what you want. I'm going to show you just a few tips on how to use this, but be sure to check out the PDF and it will help you with all of the different little pieces to know exactly where they are meant to fit in this stamp set. And then I'm going to show you some samples as well, because samples always get us inspired, don't they? This die set really quick as well is fabulous. This big kind of squatty hexagon label is perfect with this set. It adds kind of a geometric line to that soft floral, but it works well outside as well because it's just such a good basic shape to fit the sentiments. And then we've got some pieces that can add a few different looks. And then this big floral piece is actually meant to cut out one of these bunches, and I'm going to show you a sample that we use that on as well. So let's get started on some of those things. I want to show you a few different things just to inspire you, and then we'll get to tips. So first up, I want to just show you all the different pretty colors. So again, you pick the color you want, you stamp your big background first, and it's going to leave some of these open white spaces. And then from there, it's really up to you what you want to do with them. But isn't that gorgeous? Now let me show you some that have been filled in. It's going to even step it up even more. Are you ready? Okay, look at this. So we've taken the plain color and now we've added in with the fill-in stamps. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. You don't have to use every stamp that's included. You can mix and match. You can leave some white space. You can do the veins. You cannot do the veins. Lots of different options. That's why I think it's so much fun and why I made so many cards the other night because I just couldn't stop playing with it. I just loved the results I was getting, and so I just kept stamping. Now I'm going to show you real quick some tips, at least from what I kind of have learned when I'm doing it. So this stamp does fit in a mini Misty, or you can use a regular Misty, or you can use a block, but it is a large surface stamp. And so sometimes with large surface stamps, it's hard to get even coverage. And so that's why I like the stamp placement tool. So if I have to re-stamp, it's a little bit easier, but you could use this on a traditional block as well. Now, most of the time when I use my Misty, I put my paper right in the corner and I lay my stamp over. But because I want a full bleed on my paper, and if I do this, I'm going to end up with just a teeny tiny little white space on both sides, what I would suggest is to line this up with your grid paper and bring it just a little bit in. So I just use these lines as my guide. You're going to want to put some temporary adhesive, and then you're going to be able to stamp right over that paper. This stamp is a little bit oversized, so if it's not exactly perfect, you'll be okay. And if you're making multiples, the next piece you put on, you're going to just put in the same spot. So that's what's nice about using this grid as opposed to just kind of sitting it in a little bit, is if you're making multiples, you can get your paper down and you don't have to adjust your stamp every time. So that's one tip. You can certainly put it in the corner, just be prepared you're going to have to trim off just a teeny little bit, which trimming straight edges is pretty easy, but that's one thing that I found that I like to do, is just bring it in a little bit, use the temporary adhesive. Stamp, you may need to stamp more than once, especially if you're doing a dark color and you don't get great coverage. Just stamp again until you get the coverage that you want. So that's a tip there. The next tip I'm going to show you is on using some of the little filler stamps. Now, a lot of the filler stamps have been connected. So like when you stamp the leaves, this leaf piece does all 3 leaves, but these 2 little kind of tulipy flowers we left separate, and we did that on purpose because you may not always want them to be the same color, whereas we kind of figured if you're doing leaves, you probably are going to do them the same color. You're going to do them the green. So we connected those to make it easy, but we did leave these little tulips separate. So one tip that I found helpful, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of cards, is just to first lay your stamps over those empty spots, and if you're doing them the same color, then pick them up with your block, and then you're gonna be ready to stamp. And I wasn't directly over that, so we'll see how it goes. The other really nice thing about this set is it's not meant to be stamped perfect on the fill-ins. It's meant to actually kind of have a little bit of irregularity. So I love sets that look good when you don't stamp perfect. Those are my favorite, because then I don't have to redo things and waste paper. So that allows me to stamp both at the same time, and then all of these are in the same position, so I can go through and I can do all of these without having to move. Oops, that didn't transfer all the way. There we go. Without having to move my stamps. So if you're going to do them the same color, there's just a little tip to speed up time, and you're going to fill those in. So really, really easy and just a lot of fun. I want to show you just a couple samples to get you inspired. There's a whole lot more on the product page, so be sure to check those out as well. So here's a finished card. Now this one is nice. We've stamped that big background, but you'll notice we didn't use any of the fill-in stamps. So you don't even have to use them to get a different look. We've left them open. We've added that label shape and sentiment on there, and we've die cut a flower and kind of popped it up. So you can use all the fill-in pieces, or you cannot. So it's really up to you, which is great when you can do something a little quicker or something that takes a little more time and they all look good. The next sample I want to show you uses the die and the stamp in a little bit of a different way. Here, I'm going to pull this piece in. I know it's a different color, but imagine I'd stamp this in the dark blue and then put in my fill-in pieces. There's a piece in the die that actually lays over that and die cuts out that element, so you can use that as an element on your card. And what's nice about that is if you're stamping these and you have some that maybe the background don't turn out as well as you'd like, and so you don't really want to put it on a card front, don't throw them out, because as long as the stamping looks pretty good right around these, you can get 2 elements out of one of these panels. So don't throw them away, even if you end up with kind of a weird line or something. I had one of the first ones, I think I had something on the stamp, so I kind of had a weird line coming through, but I can still use the 2 middle pieces. So don't throw those pieces away, use your die, cut them out, and use them as an element. So many great options, so many color combinations. Get playing, see what you come up with. You're going to have so much fun. So that's it for our October release video. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're as excited about these products as I am. I really think this is one of our best releases, and I can't wait to keep on playing with the products. So happy stamping, and be sure to check out the product pages for lots more inspiration. Have a great day. Thanks.